Hi everyone, my name is Archita Govindarajan, and today I'm going to do a quick demo of Monday.com and how to use it. First thing I'm going to show you on Monday.com. So this is Monday.com, and I'm now going to show you the views here. So as you can see, this is the table view. On it, you can see it organized into the various groups, the contracts underneath, as well as the various column names. This is the contract name, the vendor name, the status of the contract, IT owner, in both text and image, what the term start date of the contract and end date of the contract is, comments, the vendor name, the AML number, the unit number, if it's belonging to Anne or Nadine, the description of the contract, the user agency, the funding source, the projected expenditure, the delivery order total, the delivery order date, notification recipient, notification email, which will include both the notification recipient as well as the following members of Nadine, Glenn, Anne, Sherry, and Justina, what the contract term is, as well as any attachments to the contract. The next view we have here is the Gantt view, and you can see sort of the timeline of it. This is the calendar view. This is the chart view where you can sort of like see what the status of the contracts are. You can see it in bar, line, stacked. And if you go to bubbles, you'll see that it won't really show you anything, but I'm not exactly sure how that one is. But with the various charts, you can filter it by just about anything, whether it's a vendor name, the status of the contract, who the IT owners are, the term start and end date, what the vendor number is, the AML number. Monday.com basically allows you to filter and sort of specify what you're looking for. And so now we're back to the table. So now I'm going to show you how to upload documents or upload information onto Monday.com. When Maya and I were doing this, we had to do it in sort of larger groups. So we did it in an Excel version so that we could add all the contracts and sort of upload it all at once. So what we did is first we created an Excel document. And in this Excel document, we pretty much kept it mostly the similar columns that you saw in the table view there. The product name, what the vendor name was, the number, the AML number, what the term start date and end date were, the unit number, the IT owner, whether it belonged to Anne or Nadine, the status, comments, description, contract term, user agency, funding source, projected expenditure, delivery order total, delivery order date, notification recipient, notification emails. And in notification emails, we basically copied this and put this everywhere and then added whoever else was the notification recipient's email. And just to repeat, the mandatory people that need to be on the notification email here are Nadine, Glenn, Anne, Sherry, and Justina. Paid for, attachments, and then Fulton County Department. And in this one, I've just basically put sample numbers to just show an example of how this would get uploaded. So then we go on to Monday.com. And in order to do it, so in order to import this Excel document onto Monday.com, you click the down arrow here and click import items. Because I'm importing it from my Excel document, I have to click to browse. And I've labeled it sample Excel. And then click next. Then you choose column from Excel, which will appear as item name. In our case, it's product, because that is what I have labeled the contract says. Then you click next. And then you have to accordingly make sure that it is aligned to the right column. In this case, vendor name, I need to mandatorily put in because it is not exactly matching. And it will do that for anything that does not exactly match. So you must be aware of this. So you put term start date, term end date, then IT owner here. And Nadine, status, comments, won't go. Description won't go because they're blank. Contract term, user agency, funding source, projected expenditure. And everything that's blank, you'll notice won't actually go to a column. Because it won't match. So oops, funding source does not go there. One sec. Attachments will be blank because that is literally attachments. Paid for will go to user agency. Then you click next. And you make sure it's selected on create new items because then it will create a new item and add it onto monday.com and then click start import. And then it will say your data is being imported. And as you can see, it is now in sample Excel and it has been basically, it matches the columns down here now, and it's currently in its own group. I will have to mandatorily or manually move it to whichever group I want it to be in. As you can see, it is now in first quarter. Or if I wanted it in second quarter or third quarter, I could now move this accordingly. And because I don't want it there, I will move it back to sample Excel. So that is how you import it on from an Excel document. But since we don't actually want this here, we can just select this and click delete and delete. We also don't want this group, so I will delete it out, which is also a very simple process of just clicking the down arrow and clicking delete there. Now, since more new items will be added, and it will likely be added one by one and not be done through a mass importing like I and my group member had to do. In order to create a new item here, you simply click new item and it can appear in first quarter, or you can move it down to second quarter or anywhere else. And you will have to manually put in what you want to do. You go in, you edit, and I go sample. And I accordingly fill out the information. Who's the notification recipient? Who's to receive the emails? What is the contract name? The vendor name? The status of this project? easily edited by clicking on this box here. You can make it on hold or needs attention, whatever status is appropriate for the time. And you accordingly put in the IT owner, what the term start date is, the end date, any comments, vendor number, AML number, description, user agency, who's funding it, projected expenditure. You can also move this by going to move to group, and you can move it to now second, third, fourth group here. And I will show you where it is in just a second. Right here. It's currently at the bottom, but you can move it accordingly. Now, say you want to move it to an entirely new group. So how do you make a new group in Monday.com? Because these aren't going to be your only quarters in the future. In order to move it to create a new group, you just go down here and click add a new group. And you can label it whatever you want. Sample group. And then you can move it to this new group here. Move to group, sample group. And now you've got a new group. So using Monday.com, as you can see, is very easy. And is very easy to edit. So one thing you'll need to be careful of when you're using Monday.com is accidentally deleting a file here. This is very easily fixed. You can go to the recycle bin and retrieve it again. But for now, that is how you, again, delete a group. And say I wanted to undo it. You can immediately fix your mistake by clicking undo. And if you go all the way down to the bottom, it's back again. So as you can see, using Monday.com is pretty easy. Are there any questions? Maiwa, do you think there's anything else I need to add?
I think it's important to show them how to get to the recycle bin, because one might not know how to get to the recycle bin. And just like explaining, like, because I know that you didn't touch on it earlier on, but the Gantt chart is like the standard project management view, in case you're confused about that.
Of course. So recycle bin is also pretty easy to get you to. As you can see, if I click my name profile here, you can go to recycle bin. And as you can see, everything I did with the sample item is right here. And I can choose to restore it, and it will reappear in this group. For example, if I want to restore this, if I go back to my AML contract management, you can see sample Excel is back here. But I don't want it, so I'm going to delete this again. And it will delete. So that's where the recycle bin is. And I think that's about it.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for listening in to how to use Monday.com. We hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye.